Michael Lim.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Jimmy's moving like the Cardinals. They lose every Tuesday. I gotta come here and have Jimmy talking to me about how the Cardinals lose every Tuesday night.
Maybe it's you.
It could be.
Maybe it's you. All right. When I was a kid, doctor, I was in college and I got chastised by a doctor.
Once?
The doctor said, there's one time.
Okay.
There were one of the times I was chastised by a doctor. The doctor said, don't you know anything? I gave you these antibiotics. You take them till you are complete, the full cycle. Do not stop because it will come back worse than you got it. Now, there's a new study that says what?
Well, you tell me. You like this study. So this study actually says, well, maybe you don't need to take all the extra ones because there's a bunch of people who skip the last 2 or 3 or 4 doses of the regimen,
Right.
and nothing seems to happen bad to them, meaning the doctor that chastised you or chastised anybody else,
Right.
it looks like they're a liar, right?
What's going on?
Doc, what are you talking about? I'm doing just fine. Everybody else is just fine.
This is an age-old story, right? And growing up in my family, my mother would hoard medicine. I'm like, that was for Linda. Shut up and take it, right?
Yeah,
Which you're not supposed to do
No,
either.
I got these in reserve because I don't want to go back to the doctor so
Right.
somebody else gets sick. So
Right.
I think that's part of the age-old story. And that is the concept of when we get sick. So, we get a runny nose, we get congestion, we're coughing, sneezing, fever, all those things.
Right.
Not just the majority, the vast majority of causes for that type of illness. We can call it the flu, we can call it a cold, we can call it whatever else. It's a virus. And the bare basics of how antibiotics work is antibiotics don't touch viruses. They treat bacteria. Bacteria like strep, and everybody goes, oh, we got strep throat. Most of the time, if you go to an urgent care center, which are pretty common now,
Right.
they can test you and you don't have strep throat.
Right.
Almost all the time, you do not have strep throat, which means you have viral infection. Almost always. If you take antibiotics for a viral infection, it doesn't do anything. So if you stop taking them 2 or 3 days earlier, it's still not going to do anything. So I'm breaking it down kind of simple, but I think this is kind of the issue. And,
Right.
and one of the corollary things I want to bring up is, doctors feel a little pressure here too. You go and see your doctor, I'm feeling miserable. I've had 4 or 5 days of this. I can't break it and
Right.
whatever. You got 2 different approaches from a doctor's standpoint. One, okay, you're right, McGraw. This has been going on. Let me write here. I'm going to give you a prescription. It's got antibiotics. You can take some Tylenol, drink a lot of fluids.
Right.
You got 10 days to take these antibiotics, and I know likely about a week you're going to feel better regardless.
Right.
If I take the other tack, I don't write you the prescription for the antibiotics. I say, no, man, you got to drink a lot of fluids and
Right.
Take Tylenol,
And
keep
just
your fever
let
down,
and just let it
whatever.
run its course.
Yeah. Now you're going to go home. This damn doctor, I spent all this time in the waiting room and all this other stuff, and he didn't give me a darn prescription.
Right.
What kind of doctor is this? So it turns out, I believe, a lot of the reason why we have prescriptions for antibiotics is just to try to make sure that we avoid these bad conversations and these things in terms of, well, you really don't need it. Yes, I do. I feel terrible. No, you don't really need it.
Right.
That we're avoiding that conversation, and that leads to, I think, what this study shows us.
That's really interesting. Take that one step further. What about the prescription drugs, right? My foot really hurts. I'm really in pain, doc. No, you're not. Yes, you are. All right. Give it to me. Right?
Well, yeah, so it's getting worse or it's changing, depends on your viewpoint. Because the way that doctors are going to be paid in the future, the not so distant future, forget whoever's in the White House, forget
Right.
who's ever in that Capitol building, this is going to happen regardless of those people, is based on patient satisfaction. And so patients, especially by Medicare right now,
Right.
are surveyed. You say, hey, you went in to see Dr. McGraw, and can you fill out this survey? And you fill out like 20 questions or something online, or you fill it out. You say, hey, terrible bedside manner, never looked at me, all these other things.
That would be Dr. McGraw.
Doctor's not going to get paid as much
Right.
for that visit versus if you checked all the other ones and say, oh, yeah, this guy spent like so much time with me, I couldn't even believe it.
So we're going to pick doctors the way we pick hotel rooms?
Well, we already kind of do. You can get online right now and get some information about doctors. There's a great long story we can talk about the benefits or the lack thereof in that.
Right.
But there's a lot of information out there, particularly at the extremes. On any given doctor. You can look up every doctor online. You'll see the extremes in terms of people who just really love that person and they'll write the greatest things ever.
Right.
And there's the other extremes with respect to this is the most terrible thing ever.
Right, all by the same doctor.
Yeah, so it's a lot like the hotel thing, right?
Right.
So you can well, I want to go and stay at such and such hotel, and you'll see both of those reviews. And then if you don't see the really, really bad ones, then you get into that skepticism of like, well, maybe they take those down or something.
The other thing, too, is people point to, and this is a Jerry Seinfeld joke, you advertise a drug on television, then you walk into the doctor's office and you're like, I need that drug. Well, no, the doctor's supposed to tell you what drug you need. You're not supposed to tell the doctor what drug you need.
Yeah, so, and I've asked about that a lot. How often does that happen? In my practice downstairs, it doesn't happen often. But I don't mind the conversation. Like, hey, I kind of saw this, or I heard a little bit about it. Could I benefit from this? That's a great conversation starter, and I welcome that concept.
Right.
And I also welcome patients learning as much as they can.
Right.
The internet is here to stay. The whole concept of patients staying off of it, that's probably not overly helpful. It's pretty naive.
Right.
But again, you got to be careful on how the information that you read on any source fits with what you do.
So bottom line.
Yeah, let's get back to that strep throat.
Bottom line. If you're given a box of antibiotics, should you finish them till the end?
Yes. Because
Thank you.
Here's the deal. If you're really treating bacteria, if you're really treating a bacterial infection, the dosage of that and the length of treatment for that is based on trying to kill all of those bugs in your body. And if you stop short, you leave a little few guys behind, those are the ones that come back and bite you.
That's why we call him Dr. Michael Lim. He's cardiologist with SLU Care and SSM Health, St. Louis University Hospital. By the way, bearing the lead, Dr. Michael Lim is getting married this weekend.
What?
Yes, ma'am.
Dr. Lim, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes.
And we have some Michigan weather coming in this weekend for this too.
It's going to be.
Is she a Michigan
really
girl?
nice.
No,
It's
she's
gonna-
a St. Louis girl.
Oh, okay. Well, of
She's a
course.
St. Louis girl,
Right, yeah,
but,
yeah. That means you're stuck in St. Louis the rest of your life.
Yeah, well, we can have some Michigan weather come down here. I bet you nobody's going to complain when it's 75 on Friday and 82 on Saturday.
It's supposed to be super nice.
I mean,
so,
this
yes.
is about as good as it gets.
Yeah.
There you
Yes.
go.
Our recent
Congratulations,
hundreds.
Congrats.
Doctor.
Thanks so much.
And thanks for coming in.
You got it. Take care.
826, Big 550, KTRS.